From Kern Government Television, welcome to this week's Kern County Board of Supervisors meeting, originating from the County Administrative Center located at 1115 Truxtun Avenue, Bakersfield, California. Kern County's vision is to create and maintain a customer-centered county government designed to garner the confidence, support, and trust of the people we serve. Today's Kern County Board of Supervisors meeting will convene momentarily.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Tuesday afternoon meeting of the Kern County Board of Supervisors on this, the 10th day of April, 2018. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Here.
Now I'm mic'd up.
Yes, ma'am, you're on.
Supervisor Gleason.
Here.
Supervisor Scrivener.
Here.
Supervisor Maggard.
Here.
Supervisor Couch.
Here.
Supervisor Perez.
Here.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We will begin the afternoon session with a report on actions taken in closed session. Mr. Nations.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The board met in closed session on items 85, 86, 87, 88, 90, and 91 from the morning agenda. Each of those items was discussed. There is no reportable action taken on any of those. As to number 89, in closed session, the Board of Supervisors voted 5-0 to initiate litigation by joining other local California jurisdictions as a plaintiff in litigation pending against pharmaceutical companies arising out of the opioid epidemic and crisis that has had an adverse impact on many Kern County residents and the county agencies that serve them. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Nations. We will next deal with our consent agenda this afternoon. Consent items are marked on your agenda with a CA above the number of the item, and they are considered to be routine and non-controversial by county staff. Consent items will be considered first and may be approved by one motion. If a member of the audience wishes to ask a question or comment about an item on the consent agenda, I'll give an opportunity for you to do that in just a moment. A member of the board may remove any item from consent if they choose to do so, and it'll be addressed in its sequence as it comes up in the agenda. So with that being said, let me go through the consent items. Beginning on page number 2 of this afternoon's agenda, item number 3. On page 3, items 4, 5, 6, and 8. On page 4, all the items 9 through 16. On page 5, all the items 17 through 23. On page 6, items 26 through 31. On page 7, all the items 32 through 37. On page 8, all the items 38 through 44. And on page 9, all the items 45 through 53. And then lastly, on page 10, item number 54. Are there any members of the public that would like to make comment about an item on consent? Mr. Fox, which number would you like to speak to? 1818? Okay, please come down, sir. Would anybody else like to make comment about an item on consent? Item number 18 is a proposed resolution authorizing the Kern Regional Transit to submit a grant application seeking low-carbon transit operation program funding. Mr. Fox.
Yeah, Mr. Maggard and other members of the board, when they have the bus stops, they have a sign that says bus stop, but it only faces one way. It's okay for the driver and it has the number. But if you're going the other way, you don't see the bus stop. And this is especially a little dangerous for the person who's the ones who take the bikes and then they put them on the front of the bus. And if they're going down and have to turn around and look behind them to see if they're where the bus stop is, that's easily taken care of when they on this grant. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Fox, thank you. Any other comments or questions about an item on consent? Let's return to the board then. Colleagues, would any of you like to pull an item, or I would entertain, if not, entertain a motion to us to approve the consent calendar?
So moved.
Second. Thank you. Motion and a second. I don't see any other discussion, so please cast your votes.
The motion is approved. All ayes.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Item number 1 on this afternoon's agenda is an opportunity for the public to present to us any comments they might have about a matter that is not otherwise on our agenda this afternoon. Are there any members of the public here that would like to make comment to us this afternoon about an item not on our agenda? I don't see anyone, so we'll return to the board. I have, for referrals or comments, I have one. I had a conversation recently with members of the Kern County Farm Bureau, and they brought up what I think is a very logical concern that I would like us to address. I'm going to make this referral directly to Ms. Oviatt. I've already spoken with her about it. Somewhat similar to a few years ago when we had the real estate collapse. Many properties went vacant. It caused a drop in property value because those properties weren't being utilized for their highest and best purpose, and it caused a significant economic consequence. There is, because of SGMA, the Sustainable Groundwater Management Act, there will be significant land, ag land, that will go out of production. And the Farm Bureau is concerned, I am concerned, and I would like us to address, as we go through our process of updating our general plan, to make sure that we are giving some thought to how we might, as quickly as possible, repurpose those lands that are no longer used in agriculture, whether that be for solar projects, wind projects, could be residential projects, it could become a commercial property, many, many different options. But it's a perfect opportunity, since we're doing the general plan update, to accommodate that concern into our general plan update. So Ms. Oviatt, is that something that you have an interest in and something that you think we can give some thought to and engage them in a process by which we can address their concerns and try to alleviate problems?
Chairman Maggard, that is right on point with the ideas that we're looking for, and so we will absolutely have that on our list in our work group and work with the Farm Bureau and others.
Excellent. Thank you very much. It was interesting to hear that one of the unintended consequences is, as up and down the valley, as the land becomes fallowed, it will cause less production. That less loss in production will cause less processing. The less processing will come to our processing facilities in Kern County, and that will mean less jobs. I mean, much like the real estate issue, there are a litany of consequences. So I appreciate very much you accepting that referral. Colleagues, would it be appropriate for us to make a motion to codify the referral?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Supervisor Gleason, and
Second.
I'm sorry, Supervisor Scribner, and then second by Supervisor Gleason. Okay, let's cast our votes to make that referral.
The motion is approved. All ayes.
Very good. Thank you very much. Any other board member comments or concerns? Okay, let's move on then to item number 7, which is a request to employ retired county employee Tina Burke. Let's see, which department is this? This is for Planning and Natural Resources. Ms. Oviatt, you're sitting right there.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Chairman Maggard, members of the board. This is off consent because we are asking that you waive the required 180 days after retirement for our department to rehire her. As you know, many of you have worked with Ms. Burke. She has over 30 years of experience. The planning department has unusual projects such as Renew Biz. We're bringing in online permitting, which is very important to the development communities. We have been working with the CAO's office to consolidate a variety of IT, and we have moved IT over, but that also means that we need enhanced coordination to make sure that our online permitting project that we're bringing into fruition works. In addition, we've listed a number of them. I think the number one issue is that we're a very young department now. Most of the people in our department have been here 3 to 5 years. We have some upper management.
Ms. Oviatt, how is that? All of a sudden you became younger.
I did. Thank you.
Congratulations.
That is exciting, and they are bringing new changes and new ideas. Ms. Burke, although she's been here 30 years, is our process improvement guru, and over the years has worked on many Lean 6 programs and other programs. The issue here is for her to get us through the budget, get us through this transition while we move forward to recruit. So we would ask that in this specific case, it turns out our department has never actually asked for this waiver, that you would waive the 180 days. She complies with all other legal requirements, and this has been reviewed by the CAO. Thank you.
Thank you. With the review and the consensus of the CEO's office, I believe. Is that right, Mr. Alsop?
That's correct.
Thank you very much. Are there any members of the public that would like to make comment to us about item number 7? Colleagues on the board?
Motion on staff's recommendation.
Thank you. Motion is to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. I don't see any other comment. Please cast your votes.
The motion is approved. All ayes.
Thank you, Ms. Oviatt. Welcome back, Ms. Burke. Next is item number 24 under the CAO. This is on page 6 of our agenda under the CAO's office. We are going to recognize the receipt of a distinguished budget presentation award. Mr. Alsop.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. members of the board. The Government Finance Officers Association has notified my office that the county's recommended budget for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2017 has received their Distinguished Budget Presentation Award. As a recipient of this award, the CAO has also been presented with a certificate of recognition for budget preparation. The award and certificate represent a significant achievement and reflects the county's commitment to meeting the highest principles of governmental budgeting. This is the fourth consecutive year in which the county's recommended budget has received this award. In order to receive it, the recommended budget must serve as a clear and comprehensive policy document, financial plan, operations guide, and communications device. And with that, I want to turn it over to our Assistant CAO, Nancy Lawson, to say more.
Welcome, Ms. Lawson.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. The recognition that we received is important from the perspective of public transparency and accountability. And it also adds a great deal of credibility and respect when we're engaging local agencies, our rating agencies, and our investors. A component of achieving this award was the development of several fiscal policies that your board approved, particularly related to reserve usage and the spending of one-time funds for one-time purposes. These two focal points have been critical to the success of our mitigation plan that we're currently under. I would like to recognize our amazing staff who have spent many, many hours compiling and putting together the document for presentation. Most of them are here present, so I'd like them to stand so we can recognize them. I greatly appreciate my team's dedication. They do amazing work, and it's a big project for us to put together. So thank you for the opportunity to thank them publicly. That concludes my comments.
Congratulations. We're pleased and grateful for the great work of staff, but nice to see some recognition about the good work that's being done. Mr. Alsop.
Yeah, absolutely, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. I just wanted to add my congratulations to Ms. Lawson, especially for all of her hard work and dedication to the budget. She's critical component to the CAO's operation, and I know that you all know that, but I do also want to thank her staff. It's a very good team that we have at the county, very good chemistry, and these are people that come into work and they involve themselves in the goings-on of departments across the county, and their main goal is to assist so that our departments can operate successfully. So that efficacy is at an all-time high. They do a great job. I would also be remiss if I didn't thank, just as a matter of department heads need to be thanked as well, and all of their staff in helping us prepare the budget. Wanted to say that as well. So again, thank you to Ms. Lawson.
We live in changing times, and it is remarkable to me, sadly remarkable to me, how often our intentions and efforts are mischaracterized to fit the ends of someone else. And it's very, very important that we be as transparent and open and candid and honest as we can be about this. So our commitment to that should be everybody should be reassured of our absolute commitment to that. So congratulations and thank you. Item number 25 is that we need a receive and file for that. And then, I'm sorry, do you want to say something?
Does that mean the pizza's on Alsop? It is? Okay.
Oh, look, there's heads shaking behind you, up and down. Yes, sir. We need a motion to receive and file.
So moved.
Thank you. Second. You have that, Madam Clerk? Please cast your votes.
Motion is approved, all ayes.
Thank you. Next is item number 25, which is a proposed equipment lease purchase agreement to be presented by, it's not Elsa, somebody else. No, are you going to open that up for us,
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, I'd like to introduce from our office, Mr. Ayala, who will handle this item.
Mr. Ayala, nice to see you today.
Hello. Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and members of the board.
Your microphone is not on, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. This item is before you to request approval of a master lease purchase agreement with U.S. Bancorp Government Leasing and Finance for the lease purchase of 118 vehicles and related equipment for the sheriff. Due to the customizations required of the vehicles for the public safety function, they are not eligible for the Enterprise Pilot Program. However, approximately 83% of the planned vehicle acquisitions will be made through local vendors. The county conducted a competitive bid process for the financing of this acquisition, and U.S. Bancorp was determined to be the best value. The principal amount of the proposed agreement is $6.3 million. The agreement has a fixed interest rate of 2.893% for the 5-year term, with total interest costs of $414,860. The balance of the agreement will be paid in 10 semi-annual installments of $671,486. U.S. Bancorp will retain a lien on all of the equipment until the financing is fully paid off, at which time full ownership will be transferred to the county. Under the terms of the financing agreement, all financing proceeds will be held in an escrow account. County Council has identified terms in the escrow agreement that are considered non-standard per county policy. These terms were included in other financing agreements between the county and U.S. Bancorp, and there is minimal concern over issues arising from these terms. County Council has reviewed and approved the other financing documents and the financing resolution as to form. Therefore, it is recommended that your board adopt the attached resolution approving the execution of the Master Equipment Lease Purchase Agreement with U.S. Bancorp Government Leasing and Finance, Inc., and authorize the chairman to sign all necessary documents.
Thank you, Mr. Ayala. Very pleased that 83% of the purchases are coming from local vendors. That's nice that when we can do that. Are there any members of the public who would like to make comment to us about this item? Can you please give us your name for the record?
Yeah, I'm Dennis Fox, and I have a question, and I would miss it. And that is, what is the turnover mileage? Mileage when you figure you want to...
Tell us what you mean by that. Turnover mileage?
When you figure it's time to get a new one.
Okay. We'll see if we can get you an answer, Mr. Fox. Thank you. Do we have a specific policy?
We do not have a specific amount on hand. We'd have to consult with the garage and sheriff staffing to get back with that.
Okay.
Good question.
That's good enough. That answers it.
Apparently they use them, from what I understand, a lot longer than they ever dreamt that they would. So they have very, very significant miles racked up on the vehicle. So thank you. Okay, any other questions from the public? Okay, then, colleagues, do you have any questions, or is there a motion to approve and adopt the resolution?
Motion to approve and adopt the resolution.
Thank you, sir. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Please cast your votes.
The motion is approved. All ayes.
Thank you. That concludes this afternoon's agenda. Thank you for your participation this afternoon. I would entertain a motion to adjourn and for us to reconvene on Tuesday, April 17th at 9 a.m. in this room.
So moved.
Thank you, Supervisor Gleason. Without objection, so ordered.